Welcome to this demonstration of simherd that starts here on simherd.com, and here you will enter the model by clicking on user login. A new window opens where you can enter your username and your password. Click on login. Make sure you switch to the English language in the top, English. And now you can see that your account is empty. There's no herds here that you can work with, so you have to start by uploading a herd. And now you can choose 7 different management levels that represent 7 different herd types, you could say. A herd that has good health, or good reproduction, poor reproduction, or just an average herd. So this is just a matter of choosing what kind of herd you would like to work in. So if we choose this average herd, we can click on upload. It automatically works with euros. You can of course change that. Click on upload, and here we have our average herd. What our definition of average and poor reproduction is can be read on our homepage. But the only thing you can do here now is click on overview standard. Now you enter this herd, and the only thing you can do here is click on create scenario, and then on the right hand side a new box pops up where you again click on scenario here. And now you're more or less in the model, where you can see here green, this is where we are. We create a scenario, look at some prices, and then in a minute we have a report that shows the economic impact of whatever we simulate. Here we have 5 categories, our main categories that we normally work in. We could go to disease, for example, and here we can see all our disease risks. For example, we can reduce the risk of mastitis from 42 to 21. Make sure you leave the cell so that the number gets green. Click on save and click on run. That's basically all there is to it. While you wait, you can enter a comment here. That went a little bit fast. Click on the word comments. Window opens and you can enter what you have done. Save. Now you have to wait for about 2 minutes until this entire herd, 200 cows and about 200 young stock, is simulated 10 years in the future. So now we're simulating, and while we wait I can explain that we have these 5 main categories: reproduction heifers and reproduction cows, milk yield, the peak yield of the cows, and persistency of the cows. Make sure you point at these arrows or these question marks to get some more information. What are average levels, what are good, or you can say flat lactation curves, or steep lactation curves. So there's a lot of information here. Take your time to look at it. The 5 main categories, and then here, down here, we have a lot of other categories in which you can, for example, use sexed semen or beef semen, or change feed efficiency, or see how milk fever affects the cow mortality risk, for example. So we wait until we're done. While we wait, we can also look at the prices here. We have a lot of different prices. Of course, milk price and price of an heifer, or feeding prices that we can also change as soon as it's done here. So we wait until it's finished. Now you can see that our simulation status is successful. We're done here, and now our report icon is bold, so we have a report with economic and technical results. And in the top of the report you can see that the increase in margin per year is about 20,000 euros, and per cow year it's 93 euros. I will get back to what the definition of gross margin is. You can scroll down and see how gross margin develops over time. Some technical results. How does milk yield change over in the scenario compared to the standard? We can see that milk yield is 273 kilograms higher in our scenario, where we have a lower risk of mastitis. Feed intake is also increasing accordingly, you can say. Other figures on herd dynamics: how many calvings, how many replacements do we have, how many young stock do we have in our situation. And here our disease occurrence, of course, a lower occurrence of mastitis. And here a lot of development over time of number of cow years and kilograms of milk. Take your time to walk through them. And in the bottom here we have all the revenues, the income from milk and the income from cows, calves and heifers. Then we have all the expenses of the cow's feed, the young stock feed and disease treatments, minus of course fewer diseases. And if we say revenues minus expenses, 26,600 minus 7,000, then we have again what we started with, the increase in margin of almost 20,000 euros and 93 euros per cow year. That's our gross margin. That is simulation year 6 to 10. We always want to make sure that we have all the long-term effects of a scenario as well, so that's why we express the results from year 6 to 10. The final table here in the bottom shows you how the gross margin changes over time, and you can see here as soon as you improve udder health you immediately get a higher margin. But for example, reproduction or improving calf survival takes a couple of years before you have the full effect. You can go all the way up again and go back to the overview. Here always remember this big black button, go back to the overview, and now you can just create another scenario, as many as you want. This scenario pops up below the first one. That's why it's always a good idea to give them a name. You go into this scenario again, and now you can simulate, for example, what if we improve heat observation with our heifers. Change this number to 75, click on save and click on run. That's basically all there is to it. Remember to click here and enter a comment. Insemination rate. Changing prices, it's very easy. Change the prices and click on use price changes in the report, and you immediately can see what the price change means. Very easy. Go back to overview, remember this button, and if you want to leave this, go out of the herd again, you click here on the top on herd, and now you are where we started again, where you could either upload a new herd, for example a herd with poor or good reproduction, and you click on upload, and now you have another herd on your account, and you can enter this herd again, overview standard, and create a scenario. And the price, as mentioned on the homepage, is 12.5 euros to use this. And when we say use, we mean that the model is run, that the simulation engine, you can say, is working. But whenever you have scenarios, whenever you have reports, you are always welcome to look at it. You don't immediately have to pay when entering your account, but just when you run your model, reduce the risk of calf mortality, save and run, that's considered, that's defined as using the model. So that's all there is to it. Again, leave this, go back to the overview and go all the way back to the herd. So now you have had the demonstration of how to go in and run some basic scenarios.